Hi guys, I am going to make a video and I'm going to tell you guys some really exciting stuff, and of course I wanted to show my haircut because a lot of people asked about it. So yeah, it's really short, and this is I think it's going to be the last time I'm going to be cutting my hair because I'm going to let it grow and then just do it up because yeah, I had a little bit of regret about my haircut. So I do like the way that it's nice and short and it's not hanging in my face, but a few of these elastic bands can do that too, right? So okay, I'll see you in the video. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Hi everyone, I'm back. And this is so much easier than videoing myself because I just did an intro video for an exciting new thing I'm gonna do. I've been asked to go and join the Bilibili network. It's an Asian network and they're gonna show my videos, so that's really cool. But I'm not exaggerating, I did more than 30 takes to get the intro for like 20 seconds. I just could not get it right. But this is so much easier. So this week, what I want to do, I'm going to do two things. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do a pouring video. But what I want to talk about is I've had some videos. I've had some emails and I've had some comments about people having the watercolor but just not really feeling confident enough to use them. So I'm going to try to make that a little bit more easy for you to start. So like this, you don't have to really like the pattern, but what it does, it helps you understand what paint does. As you can see here, all the watercolor cauliflower thing going on, and then we have the black going on, and then we have the background really light. So I'm gonna sort of talk you through doing something like this. Now other people have of course seen this, which I posted on Instagram. I just finished the background. This wasn't on it. I just added that because I thought it needed something. But this is the real deal. Has some gold, it has some silver, and I think it's really nicely detailed. Not too much, not that it's boring. So I really like this, and this is really easy to do. I'm going to help you through that. Now another thing that you can do is make a background like you see here. Interesting background. Then take one of those stencils, which most of you have, I'm pretty sure, because every artsy person has a stencil. Pick one you really like, and as you can see, what I did here is just with a really fine tipped pen, just trace around, then fill it in. And then what I did, you can see it. I traced it again with a glitter pen just to make it pop a little bit. And I'm telling you, if you were to frame this, let's see if I can show you, this would just look awesome. This is just so much fun to do, and everyone can do this. Don't be intimidated by the paper or the colors because everyone can do this. Now here's what I'm going to show you in a bit. Making a background for the stencils. So this is fun to do, and it's satisfying, and it shows a lot of things that watercolor does, and I'm sure everyone can do that. This is another one I made this week with a lot of those thingies. I don't know what you call them, strokes. I just love doing those. This is one I finished off, as you can see, where I traced. Now you can't really pick up on a little bit on the glitter, but it's just to make it pop a little bit. When the light hits it just right, you can see it. There's another one because I really got into it. When I really start doing these, they just I keep wanting to make another one. So but that's for another day. So again, stones. Someone said they look like potatoes. Okay, that's okay. I like the patterns that the watercolor left behind. I like the background. This one I'm going to do something with. I'm not sure yet. But I was thinking maybe even put a little bit on the big stones. I'd like to put a little bit of this stencil on it, just, you know, to make them pop. Now, here's another one I did, other color, and this one I did with gold. And I'm starting to put all these tips, I'm starting to put on a little bit of glitter because I just love how that works. You know, it just is so popping. Yeah, that's the word, it pops. Can you see that hanging on a wall? Isn't that just pretty? Everyone can do this, and I'm sure if you do this and you frame it, you'll be so satisfied that you did. It's just a beautiful piece. Now here I was going to do this one, but it just all went wrong because my gold sort of, you know, just fell out of the pen. So you got to be really careful with that. You got to get a really good pen once you're going to draw on top of these backgrounds. Now, I'm going to put these away for a bit because otherwise they'll be covered in paint. Now what I have is really, this is really cheap watercolor paper. And I'm going to do this with the Vallejo fluid watercolors, which I have on my palette. Some are dried out, but just putting a little bit of water on top, and you can see they come back to life, and you can paint with them again. Got to put a little bit of blue in there. There you go. Now, if you want to start doing this, you can do this with any type of watercolor you have. You have the naps, you have the little tubes, doesn't matter. You can do it with any which type you have. What you do have to have is a really big brush. See that? That's a really big brush. So this is a number 14, and I have a number 16. They came in a set. They weren't that expensive. What they do is hold a lot of water. So what I like to do is just go over my paper with a lot of water, because that way you don't get those really stiff edges. Because for something, you know, you're going to stencil on top of, you want everything to be pretty soft and, you know, just get into each other, the colors. So if you let the light bounce off your page, you can absolutely see where you have been or where you haven't been. And that is really easy. So now the paper is wet. I'm going to load up my brush with water because we want to start out really lightly. And as you can see, it just sort of spreads out all by itself. Now, if you want it to spread out really more than that, what a lot of people use is salt water. So what you get is that really sea salt. So not the kitchen salt, because I'm not sure how that works, but the sea salt, I take a big container, I put water in there, I boil it, and then I put in the sea salt, and it sort of dissolves all by itself. Oops, there's a little bit of gooey going on there. And then you can use that. This is not what I have here. This is just tap water. But sea salt makes your paint sort of spread out faster. I'm not sure if you're on Instagram, but there's one lady that does those beautiful whales, and she talks a lot about using sea water for her paintings because she just likes the way it reacts. So that's something you can try if your tap water isn't what you want it to be. Now, as you can see, what I'm doing, all I'm doing is really just layering a lot of paint on here. But this big brush is really the key to doing one of these backgrounds, because it just loads up with a lot of color. That's a lot of color, a little bit too much. But it just loads up with a lot of moisture, and it makes your work a little easier. So that's what we're doing. Here we go. Now this is a really light, sort of a greenish color, but when I put my turquoise in with it, it sort of makes this really nice sea greenish color, which I really like. Now I'm gonna do this a little quick Normally I'd take my time to do this because it's just, you know, nice to see all those beautiful colors do all their things. So we're gonna just really spread it out here. Now what I like to do is just get my paintbrush, dry it with my fingers, then load up a little bit more color, and then just come in and get that paint working for me, because that's going to make those cauliflower things. So a little bit more blue, there you go. Then I'm coming under it with the other color, and that's going to mix in, and that's just going to make those really nice patterns for the background. Now everyone can do this, guys, come on. What are we talking about? Just do it. You don't have to buy really expensive watercolor paper. This is a block I bought. It's 300 grams. That's the thickness I like. But next to that, it's cheap because it's like 20 pages for €1.69. So that's really, really cheap. So you just keep coming in with color. A little bit of green in here to make it a little bit more interesting. There you go. And I've already found out that what I'm seeing on my monitor is not what you guys are seeing when I upload the video. When I upload the video, it's more of a, well, more close to what I'm doing here. So that's it up here. Now you can let it dry for a little bit, just so that the page isn't shiny anymore. Then when you come in with a really clean brush, put a little bit of water on the brush, and then you just dab it on there, and that will create those cauliflower patterns, which we all love so much. So there we go. That's about it. So we let this dry, and then we can come in with our stencil and our pen. And you can put this out in the sun, that doesn't matter, because usually that will flatten out the paper and make it dry really fast, and then you can get to work. So the fun thing is that watercolors they don't stain, so that's a good thing. And you can do the pen work, you can do that, you know, just sitting in your living room or at the kitchen table, which I kind of like. You know, you don't have to have a studio to do this. So that's something to think about. Just buy a nice stencil that you like somewhere, and I'd go for something organic, you know, not too tiny itsy bitsy, because that's gonna just make it a little bit more difficult. When you buy a stencil, what you want to look for is something that, like this, where you're sure you can color in the pattern so that it's not difficult. So the smaller it gets, the more difficult. You'll have to buy a special pen or a really tiny fine tip pen. So you have to just, you know, see if you can find something that's looks like this. This one is from Studio Light, so that's the company's name. I haven't found them online. I don't know. I think they just sell to businesses or something like that. I'm not sure. So you'll have to sort of Google that one. Studio Light, that's it. So again, I'm really happy to have the opportunity to be on Bilibili. I really think that's really cool. I've been asked a couple of times to join a network, but then they wanted me to do stuff and, you know, perform, and that was sort of, I don't know, when people say you have to do something, that takes the creativity right out of it. And the Bilibili network is so different. You know, they just say, you know what we're going to do? We take your videos, we're going to edit it, we're going to put the subtitles under it, we're going to make the nice screenshot for the video, we're going to advertise for you, we're going to do everything. So that was an eye-opener. I thought, wow, what they're doing, I'm going to join Bilibili. So I'm really glad I did. So guys, this is it. This is almost 15 minutes of me babbling along. So I'm gonna just put this all aside and I'll be right back with, I'm gonna do a 20 by 20 with a bottle cap pour. And I had that in my mind for a while on a really nice light background. And I'm only gonna use a couple of colors, I think 4. So I'm gonna clean up. I'll be right back and I'll see you in the next video. Love you to pieces. Bye-bye.